watching the recording or here with us live, we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be with us. My name is Christy Pomeroy, and I live in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. We, along with my friends here, we are Moms on a Mission, and we're part of a global movement to take healthy back with the Healthy Living Revolution. And we are so honored to share with you today how we have been able to adopt a healthy lifestyle that gave us peace of mind that our families are getting prevention through whole food every single day. What a blessing it's been to watch our kids grow up with improved health and staying out of the doctor's office. This is a lifestyle we're not only willing not to compromise on, but we're passionate about sharing with others. The first clue I knew I needed to do something different with my family's health when my son was 2. And the first word he really learned to recognize spelling was O-R-E-O. That wasn't good. And to be honest, I really had no idea where to start. I remember being embarrassed and actually ashamed of my shopping cart. What little produce I had would get squished on the bottom of the cart, and then the cart would be overflowing with baked goods, ice cream, and potato chips. On top of that, I knew that the Flintstones vitamins my kids were getting and maybe the half an apple that they may or may not have been eating wasn't good enough. So when a friend of mine introduced me to Juice Plus, or introduced me to fruits and vegetables in a capsule 13 years ago, it made so much sense to me. Jetson's Food, sign us up. Juice Plus is basically a salad bar in a capsule. I was absolutely thrilled. It was an answer to my prayers. Every day we get 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries into our bodies. And on top of that, my kids got it for free for up to 4 years with Rick's and my purchase through the Healthy Starts for Families program. I want you to hear this again. Kids aged 4 through college get it free for up to 4 years with a sponsoring adult. And here's just a few of the studies, a few of the results from 250 study respondents. 60% of kids are missing fewer days of school. 61% are eating more fruits and vegetables. 56% are using less prescription and over-the-counter drugs. And 66% are having less doctor's visits. That's absolutely phenomenal results. I slowly started making changes in my grocery cart. One day, my 8-year-old daughter, she was then 8, was reading the ingredients off the back of a hot chocolate mix, and she got to partially hydrogenated when my son yelled, "Stop, she won't buy it for us anymore." He was right. You know, I learned how to make it from scratch, and hot chocolate is really pretty darn easy. And it tasted a lot better. So by making these changes and adding Juice Plus to our lives, we noticed my son's weekly nosebleeds, our regular visits to the doctor for ear, throat, sinus infection, and antibiotics really became a thing of the past. My daughter's thin, fine hair grew in thicker and longer, and I no longer needed that daily nap. I felt good. I felt really, really good. And you know what? We seldom get sick anymore if we do it. If that's not enough reason to continue Juice Plus, our genetic history isn't good. Both of Rick's parents had cancer at the same time. I was 20 when I was with my dad when he died of a stroke at the age of 53. Years later, my mom's health slowly deteriorated one system at a time. And being part of the sandwich generation, I remember one day having to tell my kids that I needed to cancel a promised and very overdue play date to take my mom to the emergency room yet once again. Having to choose between taking care of my mom or spending quality time with my kids, heart-wrenching experience, and really it could have all possibly been prevented. It's not a path I want for Rick and I or for my kids, so we'll forever take our nutritional seatbelt of Juice Plus. And I originally joined the Juice Plus community to help pay for our product, and then I realized it was helping to supplement our income. And now it's paving the way toward our retirement and to bring Rick home from his demanding job as an operating room nurse. Thanks to the income and flexibility of this business, I was able to leave my 30-year career as a recreation therapist so Rick and I could pursue our dreams of living in the mountains. Most recently, I spent 7 years working with suicidal and self-harming teens, and I absolutely loved those kids, and more importantly, loved having them have hope and teaching them healthier ways to cope. And as you can imagine, though, my bucket emptied faster than it filled. And on top of that, while I was highly praised for my work, my income was limited. There were no bonuses. minimal raises, and then I was being required to work evenings or weekends and holidays. But now my bonuses are plentiful, as are the income opportunities. My goal is to reach the top level of the company for health insurance benefits for Rick and me. I can work from anywhere. I have time freedom, and best of all, I can continue to fuel my passion of helping others improve their quality of life. I love the mission, the company, and the opportunity to work with like-minded people, like my friend Mariel, who introduced me to Juice Plus all those years ago.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mariel, and I live in Chicago, but my health story actually started 16 years ago in Denver. I was actually going on my second sinus infection in 2 months. I was miserable. And then I had two little ones underfoot as well. I actually now have 3 kids now, but at that time I was absolutely miserable. And if that wasn't hard enough, my 10-month-old was a failure to thrive baby that I actually had to force feed. It was crazy making. I would just pray that he would eat before I even tried to feed him. For the most part, we would have to corner his head and force feed him. We would all end up crying and just desperate for something to change. As a mom, you never think that something like this would ever happen. And I just didn't know where to turn. Then a good friend introduced me to a simple way we could flood all of our bodies with 30 fruits and veggies every day. I couldn't believe it. My prayers were answered. And wow, I just can't believe the difference Juice Plus and other diet changes made in our health. This catapulted us into a journey that changes the way we eat. And to tell you the truth, I just couldn't get enough, or I just couldn't get my hands onto enough books on nutrition, speakers who spoke on whole food nutrition, bloggers who wrote about what they were doing with living a healthier life. I could actually go on and on. It just became my new passion. A few years after, and I found myself pregnant with my third baby, and I was actually 35. I was considered high risk. And since being on this health journey, I did so many things different with this pregnancy. But one of them was I made Juice Plus my only prenatal, along with our complete smoothie powders, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later. Call me crazy, but after learning how powerful whole food was, I was confident that this was a much better way to go. Of course, I talked it over with my nurse midwife, and she approved it, making sure there was enough nutrients in it. And even though I was considered high risk at 35, my third baby was the healthiest and most vibrant of my 3 kids. My first 2 had developmental delays, but not this one. Back to the complete. We actually have, this is the vanilla. We also have a chocolate one too. This was actually my lifesaver. I drank it for my breakfast, mixed it with fruit and greens in the blender. It was actually perfect. And then, the times when you're pregnant and you're famished and you just need something really quickly, complete to the rescue. I just shook it up with some milk and it took care of everything. So now that baby is now 14 and she's still thriving. And the baby who wouldn't eat is now 17, absolutely healthy appetite. And our whole family rarely ever gets sick, which means we're saving a ton of money on less doctor visits and over-the-counter drugs. I'm just so thankful that I learned about Juice Plus. And, when we first heard of Juice Plus, we were also in desperate need of money. We just needed to get the bills paid. And when we were going through our options, we didn't want anybody else taking care of our kids. I didn't feel like that was a good use of our money as well. So I've tried to find something to stay at home. Now, it brought back to me a story from when I was a senior in high school. Something happened that just is etched into my memory. A month before I graduated, I chipped my front tooth at school. I freaked out, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to look like a freak the rest of my life. My friend's mom, she brought me home, and this is the part I want you to hear. My mom was there. She was always there. even now it still makes me choke up, but she was there to calm my nerves. I got my tooth fixed. But I wanted that same thing for my kids. I wanted to be there. I didn't want to have to compete with a 9-to-5 job. So when my husband and I decided to get on Juice Plus, I also signed my application to be a part of this Juice Plus community and inspire others that they can change their health and their income. I just couldn't stop telling enough people about this easy way to get fruits and veggies into our families, as well as having a business. I love that it's allowed me to stay home with my kids these 16 years. And on top of that, I get to partner with these moms right here who are making a difference in this world and realizing their dreams too. Thanks so much for letting me share my story. And now I'm going to introduce you to Kelly Arter.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Arter, and I am the mom of 2 sons, and I live in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. We were first introduced to Juice Plus by the way of my husband's neck injury, and he was recommended to take Juice Plus. So when he got his Juice Plus, I was reading on the back of the bottles, kale and beets and cabbage and cranberries and cherries and pineapple, and I thought, oh, we hardly eat this, let alone every day. So I knew I wanted to take it with him. I grew up with a lot of allergies, environmental and food. And because of that, I had a lot of sinus infections like Mariel, about 5 or 6 a year. I would go in, get the decongestant, the antibiotic, and wouldn't think anything about it. But during those 4 months that I was on Juice Plus, I didn't have one sinus infection. So I knew I wanted my kids on it. Both my kids had allergies, worse than mine, a lot of food, and environmental, plus my older son had severe asthma. They were restricted in everything they did. A lot of times I would have to go up to the school and grab my son at noon and bring him home and give him a nebulizer treatment just to have him make it through the day. They were on several medications, and pretty much my job was doctoring them. We had our doctor's pager number. Day, night, no matter what, he would tell us where to go, into the office, into the hospital. And I'm telling you, it was just not fun. So the allergy mom that I am, I ordered the Chewies, and I decided to cut them up into small pieces because they had some citric acid issues. They couldn't eat a pineapple or tomato or orange, but because Juice Plus is juiced, it's gentler, it's kinder. But I still wanted to start them out very, very slow, which I did. And I cut up those Chewies into small bits and got them each going right away. And I started to notice differences in them. That little snotty nose didn't go into bronchitis, pneumonia, into the hospital. And I watched my 2 sons start to go, the cookies and chips and things. So what I did is I started reading, like Mariel, on nutrition. We started to clean out the pantry. We became nutrition detectives and learned how to read labels. And pretty soon, my whole house was transformed into great, great whole food. And my sons were thriving. I couldn't believe it. My pediatrician, my allergist, could not believe the difference in our sons because there's so much evidence. You know, we have a research study on Juice Plus. The immune system is backed by produce. It does help, especially autoimmune. So I knew that I wanted to have all these products in my home, and I knew that I couldn't pay for them. My husband had his own business. He had an IT business. He worked over 80 hours a week just for me to stay home, but yet we still had a deficit. And I wanted all the Juice Plus products in my home because I could see such a difference in my kids. And I decided to start my business. And my first goal was to really just pay for my product. That was easy. Then I began to see a bigger picture. I began to see that I could make changes in our family. I could help reduce my husband's client load and bring him back home. So I did that. And now he's down to 1 client, which he loves. And he was able to coach soccer, coach baseball. We were able to travel with our sons and really be the parents that we wanted to be. And now our sons are 26 and 29, and they're both entrepreneur-y. They're both just think out of the box. Plus, they take Juice Plus every day. And I am bound and determined to get all my future generations allergy and asthma free, because we would never miss a day of Juice Plus. We are so grateful for what these plant produce have brought us, plus this business. And now I want to introduce my good friend, Jeanette. Go ahead, Jeanette.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you were able to join us today. So again, my name is Jeanette Leffler, and I live in Eaton, Colorado. And I am a homeschooling mama of 3 teenage boys. I've graduated one of those, and so I still have 2 that we're working on. As a mom, we are faced with so many highs and lows on a daily basis. On a good day, the highs, the highs and lows tend to even each other out. However, when trials are greater than the triumphs, even the simple decisions and tasks become just overwhelming. Things like making sure my kids have the right food on their plates at least 3 meals a day can seem, it goes to the bottom of our list. Some days even coming up with a meal just simply doesn't happen. So up until 4 years ago, I truly didn't realize the absolute importance of what was going into my family's bodies. I looked at food as a way to fill their bellies and get them from one meal to the next. I fed my family a lot of brown and white food, and we ate meat most days of the week. We had it 3 meals a day. Food that was the color of the rainbow rarely, if ever, made it to our plates. And sometimes I would remember to throw some carrot sticks on their plates or open a can of green beans, but again, that rarely happened. So my boys come from a long line of migraine sufferers, and 4 generations as far as I know. So their great-great Aunt Marie would be bedridden for 7 to 10 days at a time with horrible migraines. When she died and the doctors did the autopsy, they found a heaping pile of Tylenol sitting in the bottom of her liver. Can you imagine? That's not the last thing I want the doctors to remember me for. My boys also have a great aunt that still suffers terribly from migraines, causing her to be bedridden in a dark room with no noise for hours and sometimes even days on end. Then they have an aunt who literally takes handfuls of pain pills and migraine medicine to deal with the worst effects of what are 3 to 4 migraines a week. My husband Brian and myself have both suffered since we were young kids with migraines as well. Though our symptoms tended to be a little bit different, we would lose our vision or only see half of things. We would see an aura around objects. We would vomit. I would vomit for 12 to 14 hours at a time with each migraine. And we were sensitive to light and noise. So I would have such severe migraines that Brian would have to take 1 to 2 days off of work, which meant no pay, so that I could recover, because the boys were little and I just couldn't care for them. So when 2 of our boys began experiencing these beastly headaches, we just assumed they were destined to carry on the family tradition. It never crossed my mind that a life with next to no migraines was even a possibility. My focus 4 years ago was to keep my family from being sick all winter, every winter, flu, sinus infections, bronchitis, etc. Migraines, they were just a fact of daily life. I didn't between those. So we began eating Juice Plus daily and making several other dietary changes to what I was putting on their plates and in our home. When what I had hoped for began to take shape, my boys were able to quit standing in line for their yearly flu shot. We haven't had a flu shot in 4 years, and we haven't had the flu in 4 years. we got to watch the constant sinus pain, headaches, and infections disappear. That means no antibiotics. My oldest boy watched the days of sitting in agony on the pot because he was so constipated. He watched those days vanish. They're behind him.
Jeanette,
It's very,
Jeanette?
yeah,
Hey, do you have papers by your microphone?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're just getting a lot of background noise and I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Okay. Is that better?
Okay. So far, yeah, we'll try that. Thanks.
Okay,
Sorry,
thanks.
your story's awesome. I just want to make sure we hear it.
My husband's yearly allergies, which led to double rounds of antibiotics, slowly became a thing of the past. And all the while, guess what we were dealing with less and less? Migraines. This happened across the board for each one of us. We went from a family plagued by 6 to 10 migraines a month, often more than that, to a family that now sees less than 6 a year. A gift that I can never even put into words. Today, we are such a better version of ourselves. We've learned that while we put what we put into our bodies is priceless. We know that eating perfectly isn't going to happen all the time. And very rare, or especially in our lives right now, very rarely is it doable. So I have our Juice Plus, which bridges that gap, and it helps take away some of that mom guilt. And we drink our shakes every day too. My 3 teenage boys and my husband drink the shakes as well. We now only eat meat about 3 to 4 times a week, as opposed to 3 times a day. And when you open my fridge, more times than not, it's chocked full of the full rainbow of fruits and vegetables. So the day that my family found Juice Plus not only helped shape our health for the better and take away some of the mom guilt that I would suffer from, but it also gave me a chance to begin growing a business. This business has brought some of the best friends imaginable into my life, given me a chance to grow into a better version of myself, do a little traveling, and best of all, I get to know that each of my kids will be feeding their bodies these amazing 30 fruits and vegetables every day as they leave the house and begin families of their own. So I appreciate your time, and I want to introduce my sweet, sweet friend, Mary Ann, who I'm not sure is there.
I forgot to unmute myself.
Oh, there she is.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. I so appreciate your story. That is just amazing, and all of the stories we heard this morning. These moms are absolutely inspiring, and I've been a mom for a really long time. My first child was born in '78, so I guess I'm grandmothered into this mission because I was a mom when I learned about this mission, but this was a long time coming for me, and it really began in a very difficult time of my life. I got started on this mission of getting the world healthier, and especially children. Back in 1984, I had started PA school, and about a month into my medical training, my sweet little healthy 4-year-old daughter, Leslie, had a virus, and this virus went to her heart. And in a matter of one day, our sweet Leslie stopped breathing. And you can imagine going from mom of 2 kids to healthy kid to not healthy kid to losing a child completely. You can't imagine how life is forever changed by something like that. And I sought at that point to turn bad into good. And what I was looking for, my mission then, was a way to have this not happen to other families. And something went wrong with my daughter's immune system. I didn't know what at the time. I was only a month into my medical training, but I went back to my medical training and I finished it. I practiced in pediatrics for 2 years and then did about 24 years in family practice. But the last 12 were pretty much preventive health and trying to keep people from getting sick instead of fixing them after they got sick. And learning about Juice Plus was really part of what triggered me that direction. I was searching for answers about the immune system, continuing to search. And, you know, you need to know we weren't always healthy eaters at our house. We weren't. If you remember back, and maybe you don't, to when Beanie Babies were big, our kids were really into that. And so there was a night when McDonald's offered teeny Beanie Babies, and we went around collecting Happy Meals that had teeny Beanie Babies in them. And we had, at one point, 15 Happy Meals in our car. So we ate those, and we were not the healthiest eaters, but we got better. As I got around the people in this business and learned how to eat healthier, we got better. But I continued to learn about the immune system and wanted to know more, especially when I began losing my siblings. And this began when my siblings were in their 50s and 60s, and I have 7 of them, and I have lost 5 of them, and the remaining 2 are both in remission from cancer. So all but 1 of my siblings got cancer, and 4 of them died from it. 1 died from early onset Alzheimer's. And, you know, my intent was to grow old with my siblings. And this, again, made me wonder, what went wrong? You know, what happened to their immune systems? And it got me worrying about all the new babies in our family. And what can I do to keep those babies in our family healthy? So I was trying to give my patients some kind of preventive help back in the 90s. So I had every patient on a multivitamin, some extra calcium, some extra vitamin E. And I really thought that was the way to get healthy, because I knew they weren't eating right. I wasn't eating right. And finally, the research started coming out saying, no, that may not be the way to go. You know, if you take beta carotene, your risk of cancer goes up. And I had all my patients on that. So I was really looking for something else, because other vitamin studies were coming out saying vitamins may not be the answer to not eating right. So that was when I learned about Juice Plus, and I learned about it from a patient. And I was absolutely thrilled to see that Juice Plus was simply food. And I placed my family of 5 on it immediately. By that time, we had another child, had adopted another child too. So it just made sense to me to get everybody on it. I was so impressed by the research, especially what I saw on the immune system and how it would heal DNA, that, oh my gosh, this is what I was looking for, help for the immune system. If you take fruits and vegetables, your immune system gets better. How cool is that? And then with my family history of cancer, I saw that it was healing DNA. And I was so excited that, oh my gosh, every baby in my family that, you know, even while it's still in its mommy's tummy, can have the benefit of Juice Plus if mommy takes Juice Plus. And if this is enveloping all the DNA of my babies in my family, how cool is that? What a difference we can make, because Juice Plus has been proven to heal DNA. And we have 38 studies now on Juice Plus. And the average pharmaceutical drug comes to market with about 2 studies, 3 maybe, sometimes 1. And we have 38 proving that Juice Plus does good things in the body. So I just continue to learn more about what to eat, what not to eat for optimal health through this group of people. And after a few months of taking Juice Plus, my sinus infection stopped. And I thought it was normal to get a sinus infection every 3 months. I thought that was just life. I was exposed to a lot at the office, thought that was normal. But I've computed now, since I've been on Juice Plus since 2001, I've saved 68 rounds of antibiotics, because I was seeing the immune system research working within me personally. My body could now handle those germs that were coming at me at the office, and I didn't have to get a sinus infection from it. That's just one of my favorite things. It's very great. But even if my sinuses had not healed, I still would have taken Juice Plus forever, just because of what the research said. The research had totally strengthened my belief in Juice Plus. And if you look up the definition of belief, It is the feeling of being certain that something exists or is true. I was certain that Juice Plus was good for my family and all of my friends. And you couldn't pay me $1 million to stop taking my Juice Plus. I wouldn't do it, not for $1 million. So we've got all the research and there's no way I would stop. And before I knew it, I had to tell everybody about Juice Plus in my life, everybody. And I really didn't need a business at that point, but I ended up getting one because every new baby deserves for their mom to take Juice Plus, and I couldn't stop telling people that. And all of a sudden I had a business, and I just continued to work that business part-time while working full-time. And by 2008, I was able to go very part-time. And last year, when I turned 65, I was able to retire completely. And now my husband and I, because of this business, are able to take off and go become snowbirds. And I can do this business in Florida, and I can do this business when I live in the mountains too, and I can do it anywhere and have a wonderful retirement income and still feel like I have purpose in life. So I'm a Nana, but I'm still a mom, and I love Juice Plus. So I'll turn us back to our fearless leader, Christy, and we'll get back to where we started.
Oh my gosh, these stories are so moving, and I've heard them before and they still give me goosebumps and tears. So thank you so much, ladies, for sharing, moms, for sharing from your hearts. I so appreciate it. And for those of you watching, I want to share one more thing with you, and that's taking care of you. As moms, we get so focused on our family that we put our needs last. And personally, while I was eating better, it still wasn't good enough. And over the years, I put on 25 pounds and I didn't feel good. And it was using the guidelines of our Shred 10 program that I lost and maintained 20 pounds. And that was 3 pant sizes. And I got to tell you, I really feel amazing in my skin. So people use the Shred 10 program whether they need to lose weight or just want to feel better or help their health, because you know what, it really is safe for everyone. Children, pregnant and nursing moms, even the elderly. It's not a diet, it's a healthy lifestyle using whole food nutrition, including all of our Juice Plus products. The powdered produce and the capsules, the complete shakes that Mariel shared with. We have these nutrition bars that are so amazing. We also have a plant-based omega that is, you don't have to worry about fish taste anymore, fish burps, because the omegas are all plant-based, and it's omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, an incredible balance. So it's a phenomenal program, and Juice Plus is obviously phenomenal. You've heard it from the stories today. And you know, with the Shred 10 program, if you're interested in learning more about that, we have a private Facebook group with support and education and recipes. So the person who invited you to join us on this call will be reaching out to answer any questions you may have and to share a link for a free online healthy cookbook, and also our Healthy Starts program with healthy and fun activities for your children with great lunchbox ideas. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and have a fabulous day.